Hey everybody, welcome to Get Unguarded TV. It's Nicole and we're here with Amanda,
Hi again.
Wonderful resident therapist, and it's our sit down Sunday. And so obviously this week, Amanda, we've been talking about learning to love, and I wanted to start off our discussion today with the Motivation Manifesto, which was written by Brendon Burchard. I started reading this book, and there was an excerpt in it that I thought was really important to kind of get our conversation going.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Okay, so I'm going to read this, and it shouldn't be too long. Okay. We are not transmitting or receiving love as we were divinely intended to do. We are filtering love rather than feeling it. We fell for the prevailing hysteria that said, protect your heart, and we began to believe that love itself had enemies and needed protecting. When we were hurt, we felt that love was somehow diminished or damaged. But hurt has nothing to do with love, and love is unaffiliated with and unaffected by pain. Ego was hurt, not love. Love is divine. It is everywhere, ever present and abundant and free. It is a spiritual energy that is, at this very moment, flowing through the universe, through us, through our enemies, through our families, through billions of souls. It was never absent from our lives. It is not bound in our hearts or in our relationships, and thus it is not capable of being owned or lost. We have allowed our awareness of love to diminish. That is all. In doing so, we have caused our own suffering. We must mature and realize that freeing our mind of ancient hurts and opening once more to love shall give us access to divine strength, to stand emotionally open before the world and give of our hearts without fear of hurt or demand of you're going to have to help me with this word.
Reciprocity.
Yes, reciprocity. This is the ultimate act of human courage. For this, we now declare we shall amplify love. Pretty powerful paragraph.
Yeah, I love that paragraph. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I think as we discussed learning to love, a lot of times we are kind of representing the fact that we lost it and we have to relearn to love after a hurtful relationship or something that happened in our past. And I was just wondering if possibly we can just touch a little bit upon what Brendon Burchard says in this wonderful book, kind of what we've been talking about this week.
Sure. What really stands out to me in this paragraph from the therapy perspective, or my therapist hat, is the ego, and how the ego gets in the way, and how when people are in a love relationship and it doesn't work out, or any type of relationship, and it doesn't work out, the ego comes in. The ego gets bruised, the ego puts up its defense mechanisms, the ego starts doing what the ego does and acting badly. And it puts up either denial or justifications, it minimizes things or magnifies things. And that happens a lot of times when people are hurt. And then love gets pushed to the side. They forget, so that's where the denial goes. And they're in denial about all the good things that love has brought them in their lives. Or they minimize what love has done for them. Or they magnify the hurt and forget the love.
Right, and they sometimes, and myself included, obviously, and perhaps some of our readers, forget that love is not just in a relationship with a man and a woman, or even a woman to woman, or whatever. There's love everywhere and all around us. And we need to be able to kind of focus on that type of emotion and that type of affection at all times.
Yeah, we were talking earlier just between Nicole and I about this concept that love is not, a lot of times in blogs and even in therapy and in books, it's like love is talked about just between a man and a woman. How to get in a relationship, how to be vulnerable and open in a relationship, in efforts to get into a loving, committing relationship with somebody of the other sex or even if you're same sex. And really, in order to fully experience love, it's love at every level. It's loving your dog. That's what you talked about this week. Yeah, I have a dog. He's not featured today, but he would love to be featured. And that's one of my most loving relationships is with my dog. And anybody who's a dog person, could so relate to your story about how loving their dog or loving their cat or whatever animal really opened up their hearts. Remembering that loving their parents, loving their siblings, loving their friends, loving their job, loving their hobbies,
Loving themselves.
Loving themselves, living love every day and finding love in everything that they do. When somebody shows up on a date, for instance, that can say, yes, like, you know, I have a healthy relationship with my parents. I love them. They're there for me. You know, you could say, yeah, like, I've had struggles with them in the past, but, you know, I really appreciate and love my parents. I love my job. I love my siblings. You know, I have a circle of friends that I do things with, and we're really close. That's so different than somebody who shows up and says, yeah, I don't really I don't get along with my parents, and, you know, it's not, you know, they're, you know, dismissing what they do have in their lives, or not capitalizing on what they already love in their relationship and showing up and saying, yeah, I love myself. Like, I work out and I eat healthy and I, you know, I really take care of myself. That person shows up so differently than the person who doesn't show up with love.
I agree. And I think even in just how you interact with daily relationships between friends, family, if you always come from a place of love, this genuine place, the reactions from other people tend to be the same as well. So if you're coming from a place of love, I speak to you from love, I speak to Brian, my friends, my family with love, that's what I'm going to get back.
Yeah, and that's the law of attraction. Like seeks like. So if you're going into situations and you're really wanting to be loving and an authentic person, you're going to attract a loving and authentic person. Whether it's at work, like if somebody's looking for a job and they live their lives from love, from empowerment, they're going to go in and find a job where other people are that same exact way. If people come from lack and poverty and chaos, they're going to attract somebody who lives in lack, poverty, and chaos. And it might look different, but they're going to find themselves in the same types of circles.
Okay. And even just being able to tell ourselves that, because I know it's easier said than done in certain circumstances. And so just to kind of give some sort of actionable or takeaway for myself and for obviously everybody involved, if we're going into a situation and say we're having a bad day, we feel kind of negative that day, really just kind of looking in the mirror maybe, reiterating some of the things we love about ourselves, about our lives, before going into that situation. What would you recommend?
Yeah, I definitely recommend using positive affirmations. One of the ones that I was taught during a body language course actually was, I am love. My body only knows love. My heart only knows love. Love finds me everywhere. I am love. I am lovable. So always affirming that at every step, whether it's in the mirror, just, again, I'm at the hands and heart person, like hands on your heart, I am love. If you're, you know, if you're getting ready to go on a date or you're getting ready to go on a job interview, just grounding, taking a couple of breaths, putting your hands on your heart or looking in your eyes in the mirror, I am love. I am lovable. Only love finds me. Then that's going to be such a different experience and a different outcome than if you just go in with that frazzled, or if you're in shame or whatever state that you go into that's keeping you from being love. Love is not just, it's a feeling, but it's also a state of being, which is what we're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're in that state of being and you just need a minute to settle down, breathe, bring in the light, bring in the love, and exhale whatever's not working for you, and using those positive affirmations, you're going to feel much different.
Great. Well, I am love.
I am love. And Tyler is
love. And so are all of you. Obviously, this is an amazing book. I just want to say to all of our followers out there, The Motivation Manifesto, I'm still reading it, by Brendan Bouchard, 9 declarations to claim your personal power, and obviously love is definitely one of them. So thank you so much again, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Sit Down Sunday on Get Unguarded TV.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.